Thanks for joining us on the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Center. So let's talk cross country. Elk Lake Warriors cross country right now with head coach Will Squier. Well, Will, there's been tremendous success over the years with your program. A lot of great runners in northeastern Pennsylvania the last couple of years. But first off, let's start with your program and what you've been fortunate to have over the years there. And you guys have had a nice run.
Yeah, we have. I guess I would say that when we started out, I was very fortunate. I guess I would say blessed to have 2 or 3 runners and a couple more of my own kids, and with Ryan Place that really had some success individually initially, and that it kind of put us on the map that we had some kids, and then out of that built some teams. But it really took me to build those teams. I had a decent team with around Robert when he was a senior, but then we kind of fell off. But it wasn't until my junior high kids started coming through that I really started being able to put together consistent teams and building it from the junior high up. So we just had a lot of really great support from our administration. I would just want to commend my administration here at this school and the people who have supported this program and just given me everything I've needed or asked for, and more, from the administration to the custodians and everything, and have been extremely supportive. And then the kids that we've had, we've just been blessed with some really good talent, and that's not anything that I can control other than trying to recruit it. And the parents, I have a great parents group that has been consistently supportive through the years, and so there's just been a lot of parts to this that are beyond myself individually or the other coaches. It's just been fun, and it's been a lot of work, but it's been a great run for us.
Well, that buy-in is so important. You mentioned it from your administrators and the community, and of course the kids. How about the formula of the actual training sessions and what you think's working physically? And of course, the mental game goes along with that of making sure kids are confident, making sure kids are doing what they're supposed to, having that structure and consistency for success.
Well, I base my whole coaching philosophy is based off of character and character traits, and trying to build those into the kids and applying them to running. And confidence, I believe, comes from preparation, hard work. You're not going to be confident unless you're prepared and you've worked to prepare. And so that's the key, is to get kids to buy into that and to get them to train and do the base work. And if my kids are not in a program, another sport outside of cross country and track, like if they're not doing basketball in the winter, or even if they're doing another spring sport, I really encourage them to run year round. And we have training programs that they keep in place year round. They really only get about 2, maybe 3 weeks off in the spring, and another little short slot in the fall after cross country season, and they're right back in getting ready for the next season. And once you get kids to buy into that and they see the results of being consistent, because excellence comes from consistency, all those things tie in, and you just have to stay with it. Being good and maintaining it is pretty relentless, and so you have to do that in the sport. You have to do it in anything in life if you're going to sustain it. So these character traits that I try to teach them, and apply them to the sport, I believe will carry over into any other thing that they ever do in their lives, whether it's relationships, whether it's their work, whether it's their schooling, everything.
Will Squier talking here on the John Mendola Show as we talk Elk Lake cross country. Will, when we talk about the success in northeastern Pennsylvania, it's just been outstanding. I mean, teams like Dallas and Tunkhannock and, what Holy Cross is able to do. And, of course, what you guys are able to do there at Elk Lake, it's really been great.
It has been. It's been fun. I came into the league in 2001. I started coaching. That was the first year that the Lackawanna League had installed the cluster situation where we're all in a cluster. I'm in a cluster with Blue Ridge and Montrose, and we race other clusters. So when we're racing, there's always 6 teams on the field, sometimes 7. And the Lackawanna League started that in 2001. That was my first year coaching, so I came in on that. That's one of the best things they ever did because it really raised the level of competition. If you just have a straight dual meet, initially I was a pretty weak school. I didn't have a lot of kids. So first of all, it can be embarrassing a little bit, or you just feel self-conscious, especially if you're going up against a really powerhouse team like when I first started out, like Scranton Prep. They were just really a good team, and they still are. So if you had 6 schools there running, it didn't look quite so. You weren't out in the open so much, just running against Prep, even though that's how you're getting scored against them. But and so if you're a strong school, you always have competition. I mean, even if it's just from individuals. And so that really raised the level of competition. And then it was, I don't know how many years ago here, maybe 5, the Wyoming Conference actually followed suit with that. And I think that has really played into District 2 becoming as strong a district as it has been in distance running cross country, in the state.
Yeah, and, you mentioned Scranton Prep. Boy, they had a great run for a while, still very successful, Holy Redeemer. So there's just been tremendous success. When we talk about this year's team, Will, let's first start out on the guys' side. Tell us about some of the athletes you have coming back and maybe some new student athletes that you look forward to having a fine season.
Well, the boys that I have coming back, I have Eddie Cummins. He's a senior, and Dalton Sherman. They're both seniors. They've both had a real good summer. They're looking real good. And then from there down, I actually have another senior. It's his first year. There was some people may remember the Owens girls from years back. That was on my first team that medaled at states in 07, with Hannah and Rachel Owens. But I have 2 younger brothers running from the Owens family, and the one boy is a senior. It's his first year, and he's doing real well. The other boys are sophomores, Seth and Cal Owens. So Seth ran last year as a freshman, but he's really coming on strong. Then I brought up a freshman that I think is really going to help us a lot. Cody Oswald, who came off my junior high team last year. He was the undefeated league champion. And then I have Dan Bell coming back. And, of course, I have one Bedell left, Hunter. He's a junior. He's running real well. And I have a very deep boys team this year, and very strong. They're going to be very competitive this year. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be solid. They're going to be real solid. We've been doing some workouts, and they're already, I can gauge them off of other teams that I've had in the past that have been competitive at the state, and I think they're going to be tough. They're going to be tough.
Well, that's what you guys do there at Elk Lake. You produce tough teams each and every year, and of course, I'm sure on the ladies' side, you got another strong year there. Well,
last year, as many people know, my top girl had an injury. She got hit by a vehicle. She was riding her bike, and that happened right at the beginning of August. She was a junior. That was Jenny Van Etten. And she had medaled as a freshman, and then as a sophomore, and then she had that accident. And she had a really good summer, and so we lost her all last year. She had a broken pelvis, had 4 fractured vertebrae, broken jaw, messed up ankle, and she was in a wheelchair quite a while. She started running a little bit, just getting back on her feet before track, and she jogged some things, and she's worked some this summer. She's still not back where she was, and as the season progresses, that's still, the jury's still out on how far she's going to come. But I also had Luke Jones' younger sister, Carrie, who was a freshman last year, had a back injury, and she lost that season, and she was a very strong runner, in 8th grade, and holds our school record in the 2-mile here as a junior higher, which she has a pretty, she's in pretty good company with Maria Trowbridge and my daughter Jessie and those girls back there, and she's run the fastest 2-mile. So, I have Jenny back, not at full strength. I have Kenzie Jones back. Kenzie had a difficult season last year. At the end of the year, she tailed off, and we had no reason. We didn't know why, and she's back very strong. And the whole thing was iron with her. She had an iron deficiency. When we finally got her tested, she was extremely low in iron, almost dangerously low. So we've gotten that straightened around. She's really running well. And then I have Katie Bennett and Justine Johns, which were my 2 individual state medalists last year on that runner-up team. And then I've got some other girls coming up. Andrea Rockefeller, who was on junior high last year. And then we have Karina Kranek, who was also in junior high. So I'm bringing in a lot of kids coming up. My girls team is also very deep. I have, I think, 13 girls on my varsity squad. So I think I'm back quite a bit stronger than I was last year with Carrie. Carrie's doing real well. She's running back up to where she's capable of. Jenny's back some. Kenzie's real strong. Justine Johns is looking very good. Katie Bennett, they're looking good. So I've got 2 good teams. My girls were runner-up last year. They're stronger than they were last year, and we're healthier. Let's put it that way. And if we don't have any accidents and we don't have anything that is unforeseen that you can't control.
I think you hit that early, Coach, with the character part, and a lot of people don't hear all those stories, whether it's cross country or football or baseball or lacrosse. Student athletes are going through challenges just like adults are going through challenges, and you come back to that character thing that you started out with, Coach, and people have to kind of be relentless and get through some of these challenges.
Well, that's it. When we knew we were really up against it, last year when we lost the 2 girls, I lost 2 girls out of my top 5 before the season ever started, and those girls kind of pulled together. And my younger girls are the ones. Lexi Hemingway, I forgot to mention her. She was in that top group last year. She's back as a sophomore this year. And, I had 3 freshmen that were carrying awful big load last year to keep us in it. And for that team to come back and still be state runner-up last year was a big deal. They literally ran that year for Jenny. I mean, their whole purpose, their number 1 goal was knowing that Jenny wasn't going to be able to run, was to hang a medal around her neck.
Well, some great character there at Elk Lake, and moving forward, you get Frank Bassetti. That's not going to hurt you at all, Coach. Getting him in your back pocket to bounce some things off, and did a great job at Abington Heights over the years. He'll be helping out with the cross country and the track and field program. I'm
excited about having Frank. He and I have been good friends for a lot of years, and him switching his job and coming up here and working up in Susquehanna County and then coaching with our program it's really fun for me. And he will be a big help. There's a lot of experience there that he brings and he brings a different personality that, one of the things with coaching and being a head coach is finding people to come in alongside you and be strong where you're not. And so, Frank brings some of those things. So that's really going to help us.
Well, really look forward to seeing runners across northeastern Pennsylvania this year. And boy, I think the competition is going to be outstanding, not only in District 2, but possibly a couple District 2 teams making that run towards a state title, whether it's the girls or the guys' side. Will Squier, we thank you so much for your time.
Hey, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Elk Lake Warriors Cross Country here on the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers.